Call the meeting to order. Ask Dr. Deegan to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Felter. Here. Ms. Nyworth. Here. Dr. Bridges. Here. Mr. Jester.
Here.
Ms. Edwards. Here. Colonel King.
Here. Do we have any special guests or special recognitions tonight?
We have no special guests or recognition tonight. Oh, well, yeah, Colonel Don King is with us tonight for his very first official board meeting. We introduced him last time, but
yes, welcome. Great to see everybody, and it's great to be part of the team. Thank you.
He's starting out with 100% attendance.
That's right. All right, item 5, informational item, departmental reports.
Under departmental reports, item 5A is the printed update from the departments. If the board doesn't have any questions, we'll move on to item 5B. And this is a proposed adoption of policy GBC, News Media Relations, with Ms. Barbara Ellis.
Good afternoon.
To the board, I'm Barbara Ellis, Assistant Superintendent for Business Operations, and I have a new policy to present to you for our media proposal. The policy will establish interactions regarding LPS staff and media so that all parties have an idea of how to request information and communication throughout the district. The policy is presented to you as a new policy. Do you need any additional information, board? Do you have any questions?
When we talk about versus official spokesperson for the district as the superintendent, and then the board president shall be designated as a spokesperson, does that mean that, what does that mean? You'll speak for us, or we'll go through you? I don't know what that means.
For media.
Yeah, for media.
So like if they wanted to put something on the news, or?
If they want to interview a board member.
Then it would be you.
Basically,
Okay.
it would be
That's what I wanted
president.
to
Remember that next year.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna pass off. I'm passing the buck. Okay, that's just clarification.
I move for approval.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Dr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
You're welcome. I figured I'd better stay because the next one is mine
Right.
also.
Under item 5B, we have proposed adoption of policy GBC. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm 5C. 5C, we have information item, certification of Children's Internet Protection Act to meet E-rate funding requirement, and this is Dave McDermott, who is also under Ms. Ellis. So
Yes, this is an information item only, and it is required for purposes for that particular E-rate category. And if you have questions, I will try to answer those questions for you. But again, it's information for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, under item 5D, we have the action item, proposed adoption of LPS salary schedules for 2018-19, and I have under this is Gene Hastings and Paula Deal. It's a joint cooperation between payroll and human resources. The board has already adopted the salary increases per Senate bill, or Bill 1010X. I'm getting the right one. And this is just the written representation of that. So we thought it'd be good for you to see them and we formally adopt them. So our teachers will be able to see these on the website and be able to see what they're going to make this year with the new raises.
Should we adopt them individually or collectively? Schedules. Okay. Is there any questions?
They're all listed under 5D, so we should be able to do that together.
Okay.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve all of the new proposed salary schedules.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Felter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Dr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes. Sorry.
Item 5E, this is an action item. This is end of year fund balance summary for 2018. Also budget projections and expenditure summary report. And for this, we'll have our Executive Director of Finance, Elizabeth Brown Hill. be your first chance to address the board since he's come on board.
Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. You should have 3 packets with you. We'll start with the one that says end-of-year fund balance. There's 2 packets and then 1 single page.
All right, there we go. I got 3. It's on the very back of the last page.
It's not that one, the other one. And it's kind
Kind of got, no?
of.
Do you need a
We'll
copy
share.
of it?
No, ma'am, we're good. We'll
Okay.
share. Oh, here we go. Thank you.
As you can see on that first page, I have the fund balance as of June 30th of 2017, and I took those from last year's financial statements, and to the best of my ability, I have created the fund balance as of June 30th. So it kind of gives you a difference from FY17 to FY18 on the far right. There are some empty spaces in there. That means that there wasn't a balance at the time of last year. And then on the co-op, it's pretty much gone. We don't use it, so it will be removed from future statements. So as you can see, our general fund was at $16.8 million last year. At the end of this fiscal year, it was at 18.2. And then if you go down to the building fund, at the end of last year, it was 1.6. At the end of this fiscal year, it was 2.02368.37. And then the municipal fund of 2010, ending balance was $317,931.95, and we had an ending balance of $274,456.13. Our municipal fund for 2015 ended with a $3.06 million, and we ended in fiscal year 18 with 3.7. So there was a little bit of an increase there, not much, but funds that can be used somewhere else. The biggest difference you'll see is Fund 31, which is our 2004 bond, which is just about over. It started out with 2.7, and currently we are at $922,775.15. So as you can see there, we've used throughout the year 1.7 million in projects. Fund 33, we did not have a balance at the end of the fiscal year last year. So I have in the fund balance for June 30th what our starting balance was, which was 54.2 million. We haven't used any of it at this point. We also have the lease revenue, which did not have a balance at the beginning of, or at the end of last school year. So it is still sitting at 1.1 million. Our sinking fund, we had a balance of 2 million. Ending balance this fiscal year is 3.5. So we had an increase of 1.5 million. The endowment fund started out at $47,296, but we did receive revenue of about 190, so that leaves us with 190,268.66. So there was an increase of 142,000. The activity fund, our ending balance at fiscal year 17, was 1.948. The ending balance this year was 1.968. So there was a little bit of an increase of 19,000. And then on Fund 81, there is a discrepancy on the end balance of 17. It shows 2,500, but it should be a little bit more, but I cannot verify that at the moment. So that's why you see over to the far right, there is a balance of negative 8,000. So it should be sitting somewhere around 13,000, but I'm still doing some research on that. And then, of course, on our workers' comp, 45,000 at the end of FY17, and at the end of FY18, it was sitting at 31,000. So we are in the hole 13,510. On the back side of those, it has a breakdown of all of the expenditures. That way you can verify anything that's on that front page, and if you have any questions, after tonight's board meeting, you can email me or send those questions to me, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. The second packet, of course, is the June financial statements. I want to address the letter that's on the top. If you would take a few minutes, if you have not already done so, to read the information that's in that letter before I proceed. Oh, they did, okay. So as you can see, every one of the statements is balanced except for the general fund. There is some missing information that is pertinent to completing this report. However, I wanted to get something to you to show that we are in good financial standing. It's just some information that's missing at the moment that does not allow me to complete an accurate report. I am, however, working quite a bit to try and get this report completed for you guys so that you do understand where we are. But again, I can't stress enough, we are in good financial position. There's nothing that I would say we should worry about at this moment. So I just want to make sure everyone understands that. Are there any questions? If not, I can go over each of the funds. It's something that you guys see all the time, so you probably don't want me to stand up here and go over each one of these. But, okay.
They'll give us something to do later.
Yeah.
We'll look it all over.
You didn't know you were going to get some homework tonight,
That's
did you? Is there anything else that?
Anything else? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Elizabeth. I said thank you, I'm sorry. I was in my own little world for a second there. There's an action item, I'm sorry. 5E was an action item.
Oh, it was. Okay.
What are we actioning on?
I guess to approve the fund balance summary.
So moved. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Dr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
All right, item 5F is an information item, and by this, Athletic Director Gary Dees is requested to address the board to reaffirm the board's authority in hiring staff. We've had a few issues get into the press lately, and people may have a misconception, and Mr. Dees wanted to address the board and make sure that he reaffirmed that with you all. Mr. Dees.
Good evening, board members. I want to speak to you tonight on behalf of the athletic department. I want you to know that we value the role of the board. We appreciate your commitment and service to Lawton Public Schools. As a department, we would never want to undermine or overstep your authority. We understand the process, and we think it's important, and we respect it. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Dees. All right.
Okay, item 6, our architect's report.
And no architect's report tonight.
How come? Why? I mean, we got so much going on, why wouldn't we have an architect report?
He was just here a week ago.
I don't care, we've got a lot going on.
We're keeping them spot, though. We'll keep the seat warm for them every week, so.
That's right. We need to get them.
Item 7, report of the superintendent.
Okay, item 7, I'll give a little introduction to the public. The Board of Education goals for 2018-19, the board will be, has been working hard in many ways for a good chunk of the year, but the board has worked hard on establishing goals, and a better definition might be areas of priority. But because the schools are familiar with the term big rocks, we're going to present them with that. And so I'm going to pass it off to the board. I'm excited and honored that the board has chosen these goals. And I have a feeling you're going to hold us accountable to them. Me first.
Well, there are four areas that the board has identified that are needed to propel the district towards our main goal, and our main goal has been for quite some time to be the very finest, the best district in the state, if not the country, for the good of the district and especially, of course, our children. And so we spent quite a bit of time working on the areas that we felt needed to be focused on and concentrated on by the whole district, working together to propel the whole district forward. The 4 rocks, big rocks, that terminology that's been adopted, and we like it, that we have come up with are academics, accountability, customer service, and security and safety. And the hope is that with all of us focusing on these areas and everything that we do for the next year, we think we can make tremendous strides forward. We already have an excellent district, but that's not good enough. We've got to be more excellent. And we think this is the way forward. So I'm going to have the other board members each take one of these big rocks and just elaborate on them a little bit. I think we'll start with our big rock of security and safety, and Ms. Edwards will take that.
Awesome. Thank you, Kent. Yeah, so the rock that I'm going to be talking about tonight for just a minute is security and safety. In addition to being a board member, I'm a parent of 2 middle schoolers here, so this is something that personally for me, they're all important, but this is incredibly important. We all know we live in an unfortunate, very turmoil-filled time in terms of public education, and there's been a lot on a national level, a lot of absolute tragedies that have happened. And in addition to those big, stories that we all hear about, there's smaller things that happen too in terms of safety and security at schools. And it's of the utmost importance that in addition to providing them with a good education in a healthy environment, that we keep our kids safe at all ages. So it's really never been more important than now to do this. And schools have never had to do more than they're doing now to do this. The times have really changed. I graduated high school the same year that Columbine happened. And, ever since that time, it was a shift, and it's, unfortunately gotten worse. So this is a particular interest to me. I want to say for starters, I am so grateful to Chief and everything that he does in this district. His team is second to none, and knowing what I know about what we do and have been doing to keep our kids safe makes me feel really good, and I appreciate the extra effort that he and his staff that they take. I know his team is growing this year with some introduction of some new elementary marshals, which is wonderful. And he and his team over the summer and on an ongoing basis are working on some additional measures to just continue to harden our schools. And I hate to use that word harden, but that's the reality. My viewpoint on it is that if we can keep our airport safe and we can keep the Academy Awards safe, we need to be able to keep our schools safe. And it's anything less than that is unacceptable. So I'm encouraged by the progress we've made. I'm happy with the things that are already in place, and I know that everyone is committed to continuing to identify what those area vulnerabilities are. You know, sometimes it's easy, you know, Lawton's not that small of a town, but compared to Dallas, where I'm from, it is small. And it's easy sometimes to have a false sense of security, but the places these tragedies are happening are no different than our community, and we have to be diligent. And so whether that means, you know, cracking down on teachers and students who are propping doors open for the sake of traffic flow, or, you know, brushing past the scanners in the morning or whatever. As a board member, I'm committed to helping uncover what these vulnerabilities are. And like I said, I'm just encouraged and really glad that we've adopted this as one of our big rocks. So again, thank you to Chief and his team, and appreciate everything they do.
Thank you. The next big rock is going to be customer service, and Dr. Bridges will address that.
Okay, I just wanted to read you a definition of customer service. Customer service is the act of taking care of customers' needs by providing and delivering professional, helpful, high-quality service and assistance during and after the customer's requirements are met. So LPS has a lot of different areas where we see customer service. We have internal customers, our own employees, because we all have to deal with people up here, people in the schools, and obviously our external customers are our students and our parents. So our goal is, whether you are a very high visible participant in our district, or if you only have dealings with internal people, that our customer service is excellent at all times. So if you're the person that answers the phone to the district, for instance, and you get all the complaints, that might be very difficult to do, but Denise does a great job of it. So, and we all joke about having the Chick-fil-A model, that, you know, we should all love to come to our jobs. It's not always easy, but that customer service piece is so important. Am I allowed to say what we're unveiling on the web page?
On the
You may,
website?
yes.
Okay. So, okay. So
Haven't launched yet, but we're almost there.
we think it's so important that we're actually going to put a little button, and Lynn will have to define all the details of it, on the web page, where if you have a complaint, a question, an issue, that you can click on that button, and the question, comment will go straight to Dr. Deegan. So if you get poor customer service, you can use that button to just report it to Dr. Deegan. And we don't use it like for a punitive reason, but if there are things out there that are going on, we definitely want to know about it. We want the customer service to be excellent in our district. Oh, and the good stuff, of course, yes. Yes, absolutely. Tell us who's doing a great job, too. Well, I said it's not just for punitive reasons, so yes, please tell us who's doing a great job, too, because there are many people out there that are doing a great job.
Thank you, Lynn.
Unfortunately, the highlighted ones are usually the negative, so you're right. Thank you, Lynn.
Okay, thank you very much. Next big rock is accountability, and that will be Ms. Clodfelter.
Well, who was well prepared for this, you know? But I kind of forget what's going on from one day to the next. But anyway, I figured on accountability, we hold the superintendent accountable for everything that happens in the district, and therefore he's going to then hold you responsible. So if we come to him and ask him why such and such didn't happen, then he goes and figures that out. So our accountability, I think, is very important on that level. Every month on the board, we approve just various programs that you have requested, you know, for different things, for academics, from all the way from the kindergarten all the way up through. But we don't always know what happens with that. What happened? Did we? Was that a good program? Did you benefit out of it? What was our growth with it? So our accountability, I think, will be that we need to have some input on that. You know, maybe once a year, twice a year, just to know, you know, various programs, to a board meeting, just telling us how those things are going on, whether it's your lead or Of course, I won't be able to think of one, but, so like, you know, we have just various ones, and our consultants. We have consultants that we hire throughout the year that help in our schools and things, but we don't never know, was that consultant, were they beneficial? What are we gaining from that? And we need to see measurable difference, you know, with that. So I think that's what accountability is.
Okay, thank you. The next big rock, and the final one, is academics. Is that-
I consider this not just a big rock, it's a boulder. It's what we do. And academic excellence is creating an environment whereby a student can excel in scholastic activities, including extracurricular activities, by meeting short and long-term goals. And it helps prepare those students for future careers and lives and just being a citizen of the world. And Carla's and mine is a little bit related because we're excited to see our district leadership continue to do this. LEAD, for those in the viewing public that don't know what that stands for, is leadership, effective teaching strategies, accountability, and data-driven instruction. And that is really a great program, and I know we've moved forward, we've got everything going forward on this, and we're very excited to get the reports back and see how it's working in our schools, but we need you all to tell us, this is, we need this, we're continuing to do this, so keep us in mind. Our textbooks, we've got that moving forward in a positive direction, and that's so exciting to everybody. I've already heard from some parents that we're going to have textbooks, although I have one I need to mention to Dr. Deegan. So
Teresa's working on it, I promise.
I tell you, but we're just happy to help you with that academic excellence, because that's where we really want to go with all of our students.
Great, thank you all.
And just give everybody in the public a little idea of where we're headed. At the next board meeting, our directors will all give a summary. They'll give a summary sheet to the board of what their goals and how they're going to address at least the board goals that apply to their department. But they'll really highlight one for them. And then each month, each semester, we will have 1 month each semester where in a board meeting we focus on one of these areas. So the first semester we'll hit accountability once, and we'll hit accountability in the second semester. That way, by the end of the year, the board will have had at least 2 full board meetings of presentations. Of course, it'll be a cooperative. I'll get solicited information or input from the board members before. What would you like to hear about? And we'll develop that process. But it'll be a new process for it. But I think it's very much needed. And I think I can speak by half of my staff. This is not one of those things that we were dreading. We're actually happy to hear these goals. So thank you all very much.
And before we get off of this, on customer service, I have worked with several people that are having children just this year attend Lawton Public Schools, and our customer service has been excellent in all of the schools. They have raved about them, so our customer service has started off with a bang.
All right. All right, if there's no more questions on 7A, I'll go to 7B, Superintendent's announcements. I have some good news to share. Last week, MacArthur High School teacher Jenny Hanna was presented with $500 worth of teaching supplies from the Warrior for Freedom Foundation, whose mission is to provide mental, physical, and holistic support to our nation's military heroes and their families. Ms. Hanna was one of the 11 teachers nationwide to receive those funds. So, and it's a good deal. One more time, congratulations to Freedom Elementary for earning the Alliance for Healthier Generation Gold status. For a second year, Principal Michael Shanklin-Ford and Assistant Principal Brenda Breeze, and I believe an Assistant Superintendent Dr. Polk attended. Did you go with them? Of course, you should be on this list. Went to Washington, D.C. last week to share their success and strategies at the 20th Annual National Training Seminar for Military-Connected Children. And one of the things we're going to really urge our elementary schools, starting there this year, and challenge really all of our schools, is try to hit the bronze level. Let's see if we can, as a district, have every school strive for the bronze level first.
Can you send that to us so we can see what that is?
I will make sure. Okay, Jamie, you have that? All right. I think we can hit bronze level pretty quickly. But Freedom has done an amazing job.
Are we setting it too low then? Should we go for some?
Well, let's see what it is first.
Go take baby steps. And finally, congratulations to Miss Barbara Ellis.
Yes, very much so.
We don't even know what yet.
Just congratulations.
She was the Educator of the Year, selected by the 2018 Women of Color Expo Committee as an individual who has made a true difference in our community with a commitment to serving students. The award will be presented during the Women of Color Expo Awards Luncheon, August 11, 2018, at the Hilton Garden Inn. So.
Very good.
And don't forget the Douglas Lion.
Oh, yes, we will. There were, Ms. Nyworth and Dr. Bridges attended the unveiling of the Douglas Lion.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Yes, it was pretty awesome. Albert Johnson Jr. and Senior were there. Alumni from all over the nation. It was really exciting. I was overdressed and hot, but it was
Everybody needs to drive by and see the lion. It's pretty special.
a brand new, yes, is it bronze? Lion statue out in front of Douglas. And Mr. Mattingly and the staff over there, John and Lionel, they've done a great job of uncovering. There was a plaque actually hidden in the bushes that nobody knew was there.
Oh, really?
That had been covered up for a generation, and so they claim, now you can see the plaque.
Well, that landscaping area.
Yes, they did a lot.
We got a little more landscaping around the lion,
Yeah.
but other than that, it's.
Yeah, we got a little bit to do, but it was really a cool event, so thank you all for coming. All right.
Okay, under item 8, the consent agenda. Do we have any items that need to be removed?
There are two. We need item 8G 3B. There's a clarification we need to make on that. And then there's also a clarification that Mr. Wade would like to make on 8G 3H.
We have to vote on the balance of the consent agenda.
Do it afterwards.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the remainder of the consent agenda?
I'm making a motion that we approve the balance of the consent agenda.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Dr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
All right. Well, now, Mr. Wade, I'll have to ask your a question on 8G 3B.
The original,
Oh, no, I'm going to do the other one first, if you don't mind. There's a purchase order, and it actually says there's a contract for new printers. It's actually a service maintenance for the machines that we have. These are the machines that do the IDs for our students. Look like this. So we're not purchasing machines, it's the maintenance contract. Is that something we can just amend, or should we have it back for another agenda?
no, we can just amend it.
Okay. So it's,
Okay, I'll move for that item as amended.
yes, just for the maintenance contract,
For
not
the
for new
maintenance
printers.
contract.
Second.
Wait,
Call the roll, please.
won't let me. There I am, there I am, there I am. Who made the motion?
Patty?
Who's second? Lori? Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Dr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
And I'll hand over Mr. Wade to 8G3H, the Sodexo contract.
This is as presented, it was a 5-year management agreement, but the proposed contract, when we got it a week ago, or thereabouts, set the term as 5 full years. As you'll recall from previous discussions, we cannot obligate, the current board cannot obligate future boards, so there've got to be 5 identifiable, the additional terms have to be essentially readopted by mutual ratification. The language that Sodexo came up with in the current, if you look at paragraph 3.1, if anyone has access to the agreement, it just says term, and it talks about renewable for 4 additional 1-year terms. I want to simply amend the language of that paragraph to make it clear that those are 4 separate identifiable terms that have got to be mutually ratified by both the district and Sodexo on an annual basis in order to continue the contract in effect. Now, under the, although it is a essentially we can get out after 1 year. The agreement does have several significant monetary penalties if you terminate it prior to the full 5 years that was intended. But those are legal. It's just we need to be aware of that going forward.
Okay.
So, do you want us to table it, or do you want us to, is there something we can amend?
I would recommend that you approve it subject to the amendment of that language to clarify the fact that those 4 additional terms are to be adopted are mutually ratified by both the district and Sodexo on an annual basis.
How about the financial penalties?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
How do we adjust that?
There's a certain amount of equipment, I believe the vehicles, et cetera, that we're purchasing over a 3-year period.
Yeah.
Those are the things that we would have to purchase if we
So
terminated early.
What kind of vehicles?
That fair, Miss Ellis?
Yes.
Yes.
What kind of
Well,
vehicles?
there's also a separate penalty, not just for the equipment, but there's 1/5 of a amortized amount of,
3.4B.
yes. It's $141,000, but it's
Right.
prorated over the 5 years, so 1/5 of that, we'd owe them 4/5 of that if we terminated at the end of the first year. 3/5, 2/5 on down.
And that's the cost that they estimate to get everything started up. for the district.
That's
So
not,
we-
that's not the equipment, that's separate from the
Okay.
equipment.
So we can approve this pending,
Now, we do have a letter of intent, which
gives you the
we
authority.
could table it, or we could approve it if we can get that, if you're comfortable with the language.
The only thing I'm intending to amend is the language of 3.1 as far as the term is concerned.
Essentially, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna change the language so it's legal. So it's legal for us.
Clearly legal for us.
And
Okay.
then in that penalties part, it needs to be specifically stated that it's 1/5.
It does.
I mean,
Well, it kind of.
we can make it, if you want to table it, and let's make that a little more clear.
I think we should.
We can do that also, because as Dr. Diddy points out, we're.
We have a letter of intent.
A letter of intent, and that started effective August 1st.
I'll move to table. I'd rather have the language
I'll second.
like everybody wants.
Yep.
Okay, we have a motion to table in a second. Call roll, please.
Ms. Clodfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Dr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Okay. We have a proposed executive session. I believe we need one tonight.
Yes, we do.
Make a motion, we adjourn for executive session.
Call roll, please.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Who made the second?
I did.
Lauren. There you go. She said I did.
Ms. Clodfelter?
What?
Yes.
Voting to go?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth? Dr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Don't ask me 2 questions in a row. reconvene.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Klopfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Dr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Statement of executive session minute for August 6th, 2018. The Board of Education went into executive session at 5:40 p.m. Members present included Kent Jester, President, Carla Clodfelter, Vice President, Hattie Nyworth, Kelly Bridges, Dr. Kelly Edwards, excuse me, Dr. Lori Bridges.
Only have water.
Others present included Tom Deegan, Superintendent. Items discussed included the employing, promoting, or receiving resignations of individuals certified and support salaried personnel as listed on the certified and support personnel reports, the selection of 10-month high school assistant principal, the selection of elementary principal, the selection of LHS head football coach, the selection of LHS head girls basketball coach. During the executive session, the board discussed these items and no other items, and no action was taken. The board returned to open session at 5:55 p.m. This constitutes the minutes of the executive session. Okay, item number 12, Superintendent's Personnel Report.
All right. Under item 13, excuse me. On item 13A, we have approval of certified and support personnel reports, but I would like the board to pull Stacy Johnson-Klein, teacher at LHS.
Move for approval of the balance.
Second. Good. Happy.
Call the roll, please.
I'm calling Dr. Bridges as the second.
That's fine.
Ms. Klopfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Dr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Under item 13B, approval of selection of 10-month high school assistant principal, I have Mr. Richard Mullins for Lawton High School.
Move for approval.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Klopfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Dr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Under item 13C, approval of selection of elementary principal, and this is for Pat Henry Elementary, and I recommend Miss Jennifer Tadlock.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Klopfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Dr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Under item 13D, approval of the selection of Lawton High School head football coach, and for this, I recommend Mr. Ryan Breeze.
Move for approval.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Klopfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Dr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
And under item 13E, approval of the selection of LHS head girls basketball coach, I recommend Miss Amanda Zakoski.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Klopfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Dr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.
Okay, under item 14, new business. Is there any new business?
None that I know of.
Next regular board meeting date is Thursday, August 16th, 2018, 5 p.m. here. Do we need to set any additional board meeting dates?
None that I know of at the moment.
Do we have any board announcements?
I have one. Tomorrow night, if anyone's available, 5 o'clock, 5 to 7 at Cameron University at the theater. They're having a forum on education with all of our state legislative candidates that represent Lawton from all 4 House districts and the Senate district. So we have 100% attendance. We've been working on that for a while now. So if you have a chance to go, it'll be limited to the first 400 people. We already have, actually, we have over 100 people right now who have RSVP'd and identified as LPS teachers or staff members. So that's really good. But
And what time is that?
it's tomorrow, 5 to 7.
Middle of our, you're busy.
Yeah. Oh, we'll all be here. But if you're not here,
You're busy.
or if you can tell someone.
Okay.
All right. I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Ms. Klopfelter?
Yes.
Ms. Nyworth?
Yes.
Dr. Bridges?
Yes.
Mr. Jester?
Yes.
Ms. Edwards?
Yes.